remember saying that. I'd be like, calm down. You're being hyperbolic. This is silly. And boy, oh boy, have I had to eat my words.
Republicans are going to have to talk to their family members. They're going to have to talk to people in their communities, their friends who are Trump voters. And they're going to have to tell them, hey, this is actually too far.
I don't want to always talk about Trump. I don't always want to be doom and gloom. Okay, I think we're set. So, you know me. I'm a very big opponent of political violence. I don't like political violence. I think a lot of people that are calling for political violence are doing it because they're stupid and mean and hateful. And this is coming from a place of hate. They don't want to actually fix anything. They just hate their opponents and they want to hurt them. And a lot of people will call for political violence through there. However, I read Nicholas Decker's piece. And again, when I was first drawing my attention to it, I was like, oh, it's just going to be another one of these, right? It was not. I thought it was well argued. I thought it was well written. And it dealt with the subject with a level of gravitas that I thought merited an actual discussion and a response. Now, to be clear, I think that he overplays his hand. I think that he posits a scenario that we aren't there yet. Or I think he posits a scenario that does not exist yet. We are on trajectory towards that, perhaps, but we are not even near there. And I think that he undersells some of the other solutions that we have to this problem. I do think it was irresponsible of him to put this out because a lot of people who are less serious than him are going to take these words and use it and run with it to promote their hate shit. But I do think, again, it was worth a response and it was worth actually going over. It's a short article. It's not very long at all. You can probably get through it in 10 minutes if you don't pause a lot. But yeah, it's definitely worth reading.
So were you moved over to the position that there is a certain point at which you think?
Well, that's always been my position.
Sure. Do you think that we're closer to it now? Or
Are
did
we
that
closer to it now?
Well,
yes.
did the article move you in that direction?
No. But it did. It did showcase, I think, that we have moved to a position where I think serious people are now at least talking. Does that make sense? We are in a position where there are people who would normally not even discuss it, right? Who wouldn't be part of the mob or whatever chanting, hang Mike Pence or Luigi was based or whatever. That there are more serious people at least asking the question, which is its own sort of terrifying.
Yeah, I think that where we're at right now, I think that reasonable people are going to start asking the questions that the unreasonable people were asking before. And that's going to make a lot of the discussions that we've had for the past couple of years really difficult to have going forward. Because I know that you and I know that me have been very staunchly anti-political violence, extremist action, stuff like that. But we are now at the moment that we had argued that it's, there is a point where go time is go, it's time for it. It's time to go. And
yeah,
go ahead. The further along that this goes without any kind of pushback, because it can't be pushback from Democrats, Republicans are going to have to push back on their own. Republicans are going to have to talk to their family members. They're going to have to talk to people in their communities, their friends who are Trump voters. And they're going to have to tell them, hey, this is actually too far. This is they're deporting people for violating First Amendment stuff. They're deporting people with no due process. They're destroying the economy with no clear end goal or strategy along the way. They're having to corner Trump in the Oval Office while other aides are in meetings on the other side of the White House so they can convince him to roll back the tariffs and tweet it out fast enough for that other guy to, still be in his
Navarro,
meeting.
yeah.
Like this is where we're at right now. And it's going to take like either I don't know what the line is, because conservatives were ready to murder Democrats over, drag queen story time. They were showing up with guns, right? What is the line for blatantly defying court orders? At what point? So my message is Republicans need to talk to their fucking family members, and they need to tell them, like, hey, this needs to stop. We need to start speaking out against it.
So 3 things, okay? And I'm going to go in the reverse order. So the first of all, one of the things that I have noticed, and this gives me hope, is that there are Republicans, Trump voters, people who voted for Trump both times, who are saying, whoa, wait a minute, this isn't okay. I'm not okay with this. I'll give you an example. Drone Tech, pretty MAGA guy, right?
I know Drone Tech well.
Yeah. He's like, no, I don't support the way they're doing these deportations at all. This is crazy. What are they saying? Like, he's criticized a lot of the weirdos on Twitter who've been saying, and when I say weirdos on Twitter, I mean people with like hundreds of thousands of followers on Twitter who are saying things like, oh, it's time to dissolve the Supreme Court and things like that, because there are some MAGA supporters who are saying that.
They're mad
and
at
he's like,
Amy
no,
Coney
this
Barrett.
isn't okay. This isn't okay. I see people like Douglas Murray push against the crazies on their side. I see people like
Richard
Hanania, right, saying, I regret my vote. And I've heard from several Trump voters who do tell me that they regret their vote because they didn't think he was going to do all this crazy. So that gives me hope. I hope it continues. And I think that as things get worse, they have the ability to get better, because once Trump loses enough support that Congress turns on him, I think that's it. Right now, he's fighting with the courts. But if he had to fight with the courts in Congress, I think I just don't think he wins that fight. He might with the courts, but I don't think he wins both. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I don't know. I've been like pretty disappointed with the lack of moral consistency, or just like any consistency from conservatives. Like if I see people in your chat here, 1 second, where did it go? Oh fuck. Of course, now it becomes impossible to find. The LARP is strong in here, and don't ask for go time unless you're ready to go away yourself. Like, I don't think people are appropriately appreciating the moment that we're in. It is at the, maybe not like immediately like we need to arm up and start marching right this second, but we're at the point where we're looking at the end of the democracy. We are looking at that doesn't mean that we're all going to be, wearing gray jumpsuits and being beaten with truncheons in the street by SS officers, right? It just means that what America was and what America stood for is no more. That, right? It doesn't mean that everyone's life instantly gets worse. It means that for the past 250 years, we've had a system of governance where the people vote for representatives, and those representatives make decisions, and we disagree on policy, but we generally want things to get better for everyone in the country. Right now, we're looking at Republicans trying to seize as much power as possible so that they can do what they want to do. I don't want to live in that country. I want to fight and die for stupid, tiny little policy wins. All right. I want to fight and die for stupid little budget adjustments. I don't want to have to fight and die for my country. All right.
So I'm going to read you the last line of this essay, because the second point I had, and I think we're there now, is he does give some lines that this gentleman Decker says are lines for him, and he lists them out, right? And I'll just list them real quick. Um, if the present administration should cancel elections, and yeah, if they cancel elections, I think that's time. Okay, yeah, let's go, right? If it should engage in fraud in the electoral process, if it should suppress the speech of its opponents and jail its political adversaries, if it ignores the wills of Congress, if it should directly spurn the orders of the court. And those are the reasons he lists as reasons for revolution. He ends with this. And this line, I think, as you read it, I think it's an interesting line to end on. He says this: "This evil will not pass without blood, sweat, toil, and tears. So harden your hearts and be prepared to die."
That is the only line from the entire thing that I saw, because I scrolled to the bottom and I saw that. I was like, Jesus, okay, well, I guess we're going to see some crazy shit in this one.
But it's laid out with such brevity and such clarity that, again, as I said before, I don't agree with his premise. I don't agree with the setting he's made, and I don't agree with his proposal. I don't think we're anywhere near where he says we are. But it is an interesting question, and it does
You don't
deserve
think we're near,
response.
though?
Huh?
You don't think we're near? What do you
I
think would
that
be?
we have a host of options before us to redress the harms that this country, this administration is doing that fall far short of open rebellion or revolution. I think that we are currently going through the courts. I think that Congress will step up. I think that the voters will have a chance to push him out. Yeah, I just don't think we're near the revolution.
I don't think that we're like, to be clear, I don't think that this is happening or is guaranteed to happen in the near future. I'm saying that we're at the point where the questions that would need to be asked are being asked. You know,
Yeah.
when the things that would need to happen for us to start having those alarm bells, those are actually happening now. Whereas in the past, we've poo-pooed and said, you're freaking out over nothing. There is no trans genocide, blah, 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 stuff like that, right? There was always like, if this happened, if that happened, then, this is an acceptable response. It's just like people need to recognize we're at that point where those questions, those preconditions are starting to be asked, and we have to fight like hell so that we don't have to fight like hell.
So one of the things I said earlier to my audience, I'm not sure you were here for yet, but one of the things I said to my audience is that I used to scold people like Josiah. I used to scold people like Pisco. I used to scold others for saying Trump's going to destroy the Constitution. Trump's going to violate the courts. Trump's going to be all this, that, and the other. I was like, oh, you're being hyperbolic. I don't like the guy. He's going to pass policies I don't like, and I'm going to oppose politically. But come on, calm down. And I remember saying that. I'd be like, calm down. You're being hyperbolic. This is silly. And boy, oh boy, have I had to eat my words. I've had to be like, okay, no, maybe you had a point. It's like you talked about how we can't have the same conversations we used to have in the same way we had, and I think we're already there. I think we are at the point where I can't just dismiss out of hand someone coming to my chat and saying, I think that our Constitution's in real danger. I can't dismiss that out of hand. I remember after the election, right after November 4th or whatever, when I had a call-in show, and there's a gentleman, and I forget his name, and I wish I could remember because I'd like to apologize to him. But there's a man who came on my show, and he expressed worry because he had a lot of immigrant friends that he felt were going to be deported to a concentration camp. And he was talking about hiding his friends in his attic and taking arms against ICE when they came to get his friends. And
Bet
I
you
was
feel
like,
like a
man, don't
real now.
really.
You got his friends deported to that fucking CCOT place. They're fucking getting
I
tortured
was like,
right now in
I
El
was
Salvador,
making
and
fun of
it's
him the
your
whole time
fucking
because
fault
I'm like,
because you
you're
didn't let him
crazy.
prepare. You didn't let him prepare, and now who could be Anne Frank under his fucking floorboards is now Anne Frank after the floorboards, and it's all your fault.
It probably look again. I was telling this guy, I was making fun of this guy, being
Yeah.
like, "That's crazy. He'd never do that. That's an insane thing to say." And
Yeah,
I
and
looked
now we
back
look
on my
like it's like a
conversation there, and I was
psyop.
like, "Man, oh man, this guy picked it." Like,
It's like the Trump administration is a psyop, like built so people like you and me look like when we tell everyone not to say like, "Oh, they're fascists. Oh, they're Nazis. Oh, they're fascists. Oh, they're Nazis." It's like a psyop specifically made to make us look for saying, "Hey, this is like a little bit unhinged.
yeah,
This is like a little bit crazy." But like, I'm not gonna sit there and you know berate people anymore that have these opinions that like, oh, things are like really bad because now we're at the bad times. Now we're at the bad times, and it's time we like everybody recognize that, even the fucking centrists, even the center right Republicans that voted for Trump and thought it would just be not as bad as voting for Kamala or Hillary or whoever the fuck they refused to vote for instead of Trump. Um, yeah, we're at a crossroad, folks. It's really bad. And if you like care about anything to do with your country, if you care about politics, if you care about any of the issues that we talk about on stream, then it's I'm probably going to retire streaming in totality sometime in the next 3 to 4 months because I'm not talking about politics anymore. I'm going out and I'm going to do it, right? Like it's time for people to put up or shut up. Like we got to fight so that actual fighting doesn't happen.
Kamikaze says this. Let's be honest, Sansel. You make yourself look without any need for help.
Yeah, no, that's because I'm a
Fair
Congratulations.
enough.
You've cracked the code.
I do think that we do need both, right? We need people to inspire those to get involved, and we need people to get involved, and hopefully both. Both people can be both. You can
Oh,
be someone who
sure.
inspires people while getting involved yourself. Um, it's hard though. It is hard because I don't want to always talk about Trump. I don't. I don't always want to be doom and gloom. I don't. I find it boring. But it's necessary because he's every day coming up with new crazy things that he's doing. And again, I think that if we're not talking about him literally ignoring the Supreme Court, violating the Supreme Court, which is happening now, I don't know. I just don't know.
Yep. Like
Anyway,
we do need people that are going to inspire people to go out, and we need people who are going to go out. That's absolutely true. We need people to recognize the moment that we're in. That is the most important thing. Recognizing the moment that we're in and actually like going out, because we treat this like it's drama slop, but people's I live in DC and I am witnessing with mine own two eyes, not even people that I personally know, just like people whose lives are getting ruined right now for no discernible fucking reason. And it's the and these are the conservatives in your Discord. You've seen the things that I've said in our group chat on Twitter, the absolutely unconscionable, fucking disgusting, vile things that I've said. Because if you're a hardcore Trump person right now, you literally have worse behavior than the Nazis that we've argued against for the past 5 years. I have never felt such visceral fucking anger for anyone in my entire life for the unbelievable level of grotesque like cruelty worship that you fucking people do. It is actually unconscionable.
But I will say this. The worst thing or one of the worst things that I've seen that this do is, and I said this before, but I'll repeat it, the celebration of cruelty. It is now the thing. A lot of people don't just not mind that the policies that Trump's putting in place are hurting people. It actively engages them and makes them happy. The cruelty, I used to make fun of people when they said this, but it's just true now. The cruelty is the point. So,
Sorry,
but
had to take
you're
care of
okay.
something. But
You do.
yeah.
But,
Anyways,
yeah.
sorry for my soy rant and all of that. Sorry to interrupt your show and all of that. Anything else that you want to talk about?
Man, I don't know. What about you?
You hear about this Oblivion remake?
Yeah, my kind chatters bought it for me.
Oh, look
So,
at that.
After I'm done here, I'm gonna go reinstall that and play it.
Hey, did you ever play Oblivion back in the day,
Yeah.
or?
I played Morrowind, I played Oblivion, I played Skyrim. Oblivion was my favorite of the three.
Yeah, that was my
I
first
played Daggerfall, but I didn't
RPG like
like
that.
that as much. But
Yeah, Daggerfall is unplayable. So,
yeah.
all right. Well, I'm going to get back to this. Oh, yeah.
Oh, before you go, what do you think about the RFK Jr.'s autism registry they got going on? Guys, this is a real thing. The RFK Jr. Has decided that he is going to create a registry of diseases and people with diseases, and he is going to put people with autism on a registry, on a government database. You gonna have fun in the autism camps, brother?
I know that when they open up Switch, I'm going to be the first in line because I'm the kind of autistic that sits in his kitchen and flaps his arms like a bird while his chicken nuggets are frying in the air fryer. So I know that I'm first in line.
You're on the list.
I know that my life is on the line, and I will fight like hell. I will claw my way up from hell. Okay, if I get sent to the Switch. Okay.
Hey, you're going there. We will make a memorial for you, right? As one of the few people who stream that doesn't have any kind of ism, except for racism, gang, and sexism. But no,
You have to make
any of
sure
the
everybody
autism or
says
anything like that.
something. Everyone has to say at least one nice thing about me, and it has to be like really heartfelt. And you have to make me like look cool and seem cool when you're giving my eulogy.
It'll be
And
a
you can
very
give one of the
tasteful-
eulogy.
Very tasteful statue.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
All right. Well,
Anyway,
I will catch
buddy.
you later.
We'll see you later. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right. Let's see here.